Rights and duties of buyer.
Sale of Goods Act, 1930.
Rights and duties of buyer 10 marks.
The buyer is a person who buys or agrees to buy goods for a price. The Sale of Goods Act, 1930 clearly defines the rights and duties of the buyer to ensure fairness and smooth execution of a contract of sale. These rights protect the buyer's interests, while the duties ensure proper performance of contractual obligations. The rights of the buyer include the right to delivery of goods as per the terms of the contract. The buyer has the right to examine the goods before accepting them in order to ensure that they conform to the contract. If the goods do not satisfy the conditions of the contract, the buyer has the right to reject the goods. The buyer also has the right to claim damages in case of non-delivery or breach of contract by the seller. Further, when ownership has passed to the buyer, he has the right to enjoy peaceful possession of the goods. Along with rights, the buyer has certain important duties. The primary duty of the buyer is to pay the price of the goods at the agreed time and manner. The buyer must accept delivery of the goods when they are delivered as per the contract. He is also required to apply for delivery of goods and take delivery within a reasonable time. Once the ownership of goods has passed, the buyer must bear the risk of loss or damage, even if the goods remain in the seller's possession. If any loss occurs due to the buyer's delay or neglect, the buyer is responsible for such loss. These rights and duties are interrelated and aim to maintain balance between the buyer and seller. A buyer cannot enjoy rights without performing his duties under the contract. Case reference. In Jones v. Just, 1868, the buyer rejected goods that did not match the description. The court upheld the buyer's right to reject the goods. Conclusion. The Sale of Goods Act, 1930 provides a fair framework of rights and duties for buyers, ensuring protection against unfair practices while promoting responsible conduct in commercial transactions. Sale by non-owners, 10 marks. Under the Sale of Goods Act, 1930, the general rule is that only the owner of goods can sell them and transfer a good title to the buyer. This rule is based on the principle nemo dat quod non habet, which means no one can give what he does not have. Therefore, a buyer who purchases goods from a non-owner usually does not get a valid title. However, to protect innocent buyers and promote smooth trade, the Act provides important exceptions where a non-owner can pass a good title. One important exception is sale by a mercantile agent. When a mercantile agent sells goods in the ordinary course of business with the consent of the owner, the buyer obtains a valid title, provided the buyer acts in good faith. Another exception is sale by a joint owner. If one of the joint owners is in sole possession of goods with the consent of the others, he can transfer a good title to a bona fide buyer. A sale by a person in possession under a voidable contract is also valid if the contract has not been rescinded at the time of sale. Similarly, a seller in possession after sale may transfer a good title to a subsequent buyer acting in good faith. Likewise, a buyer in possession of goods can resell them and pass good title if the second buyer purchases honestly without notice of the first sale. The Act also recognizes sale by a finder of goods, who may sell the goods if they are perishable or if reasonable efforts to find the owner fail. A pawnee can sell pledged goods on default by the pawner after giving reasonable notice. Further, goods sold by official receivers or under court orders also give valid title to buyers. Case law. In Eastern Distributors Limited v. Gold Ring, 1957, a buyer in possession of goods resold them to an innocent purchaser. Held, the subsequent buyer obtained a good title. Conclusion. Although the general rule restricts sale by non-owners, the exceptions under the Sale of Goods Act, 1930 ensure fairness and protect bona fide purchasers. These provisions strike a balance between ownership rights and commercial convenience.